What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. We are taking a look at another Hot Toys figure that took over 2 years to get here. It's unbelievable. This is the 1/6 scale Hot Toys Ahsoka Tano and Grogu. Now, peeling back the first layer, this is the DX Ahsoka Tano and Grogu. Now, I don't really know what makes it a DX figure. Is it just because the eyes move and the figures are sitting in foam? There are no light up features, the lightsabers don't light up, the little lantern doesn't light up. I just feel like Hot Toys is cheaping out a lot these days. Inside our first layer, we've got Grogu and Ahsoka in nicely cut foam. It says here that this is a newly developed head sculpt, and it actually has articulated arms and everything. So I will side by side this Grogu with one of the Grogus I have that came with the Mandalorian. Now when you take off the cardboard on the top, you can see Grogu has a couple extra arms here in the foam. And down over here we have 3 extra hands for Ahsoka. Over here we have the user guide, which you could take a look at just to make sure you're doing everything correct. And right here we have all the accessories. At the bottom of the box we have a cardboard background, which they've been giving us a lot of these days. I never use them, they just wind up staying in the box, but I'll show you anyway. Alright, here we go. This is all the accessories out here on the table. Now, like I was saying, I feel like this is just your standard figure with a diorama base, which is not really a great diorama base. There's not a ton of accessories that I don't think you wouldn't have gotten with a regular figure. Now, with a 2-year wait, you'd think they would have given some lights or something in the lanterns. The lightsabers don't light up or anything. There's no LEDs in there. I know they're doing USB lightsabers now. They could have at least given us that. But I guess her eyes turn, so that makes it a DX figure. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a couple of other figures that weren't DX figures also had turning eyes, didn't they? I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you know of any other figures that aren't DX that eyes move. Side by side, the Grogu here on the right, this is the one that came with my Mandalorian, so there's no articulation in the arms. The head moves a little bit, but there is no posing. The hands don't come off. And this is the new one that just came with Ahsoka. So this is a fully new sculpted Grogu. It's a whole new paint job. You can see that the sculpting just on his outfit is different. There's different colors. You know, it's actually a little bit darker than the one that came with Mando. So it's quite a bit different. You can even see on the back that the lines are different, the folds are different. So yeah, it is a brand new sculpt, and I do appreciate that at least it's a little different than the one we have. And for all the kids' parties, we have a little trick that we could swap out Grogu's hands. He comes with these little force push hands. It's nice. I wish they had a little bit more movement, and you know, you can only push them up and down, so you kind of have this sideways look. I do wish that they gave us a second head sculpt for him with his eyes a little more closed when he's using the Force, because that would have made this a little nicer. Maybe even put a little hair on his noggin here like they did with one of the past Yoda figures. And here we have the lantern. Now, every photo on Hot Toys and Sideshow, I did pick this up at Sideshow, the lantern looks like it's lit up. I know it didn't have LEDs or anything in it, but that was 2 years ago. By now, I really figure they could have done something with this thing. Like, here's an idea. We have a USB-powered base. We have magnetic power that we basically can just drop the lantern onto. And then we have a couple of other connection ports to put a separate set of wired lightsabers so that we have some lights in there. That would have really taken this figure to the next level and made it a true DX, in my personal opinion. Now again, I wasn't expecting anything like this. I know exactly what I purchased. There was no lights. It was all photoshopped and everything. We all know that. But after 2 years and the introduction of USB lightsabers from them, they could have done a little something extra for this so-called DX figure. Alright, sorry, so moving on from my rant, we do have beautiful 6-scale lightsabers, which again do not have any light up features in it. To get the blades in, we just want to pop out the little blade plug here, and then we can grab one of the blades and slip that right in. And they give us 2 options. We have the straight blade here, and then we also have that gradient movement blade. Ahsoka also comes with 3 extra hands that are very nicely weathered and painted. I do wish it came with 4 extra hands because we do not have a left fist. We have a left-hand lightsaber hand. We have a right-hand fist without a matching left-hand fist, which is kind of a bummer. And we have the right hand set for a lightsaber as well. And she is pre-installed with 2 relaxed hands. Now, I guess this diorama base is cool. We have this branch that you can put right there. It's kind of keyed, so you can put it in the right direction. But then it comes with this straight pole, and I don't understand the decision for this because it's going to get in the way and be very, very limiting on what you can actually do with the figure. And it does come with the waist clamp here. Now, I do wish this was one of those gooseneck ones that they give with most of the Mandalorians for the flight stands. I just don't understand the pole. Now you can see here, it's kind of like in the middle. It's not a very large stand, so either her foot has to be propped up there, or just Grogu can go on there, or I don't know. I don't really understand the design of it. So let me pull up a couple pictures and see if I can figure this out. See, it looks like they're only setting Grogu up with this stand. And there's the lantern that should have been an LED because it clearly looks like it's lit up, but it's lit up by the photographer, I guess. Now, when you prop up Grogu on the stand, kind of how they had it in some of the images there, there's not really any room. You know, he pretty much between the pole and him takes up the whole stand. Now, here she has her cloak or hoodie or whatever you want to call this thing. It's a beautiful soft fabric, great texturing. We've got a lot of weathering there at the bottom where it's just kind of torn up and everything. I do worry about these edges kind of falling apart over time because you can already see some of the strings and everything that are coming out. The hood does have a wire in it, but there are no wires anywhere else in this thing, so you can't pose it even though it looked like you could in the photos. And then we've got this cardboard backdrop here, which is not a very good print, by the way. Let's see if I can zoom into here a little bit. Like, it's really weird looking. It's kind of soft and almost a little grainy. But honestly, for me, this really makes absolutely no difference because I'm going to fold this back up, put it right in the box, and it's never going to see the light of day again. Now, here is the tool that will move her eyes, and I'll show you how to do this. It's very easy. We're just going to take the head sculpt off, and it popped off really easy for me, and we're just going to pull off the face. Now, it is attached by magnets there. You can see that on the top there and over there. And inside is really creepy, but it's the back of her head. So those are the two eye sockets you're going to put the end of the tool in. You can move it left and right, and up and down, and whatever. Just make sure you don't move one and forget to move the other one because she's going to really look cockeyed and it's going to be very strange. Now, whatever you're doing, you can see here that this isn't right. So you're going to have to maybe fiddle with this a few times to get it right. You really have to get the eye line right. It's going to look very awkward if you don't. And once you got it, you're just going to smush her face right back into her tails. And we also have some wires in here, so you can pose these up a little bit, or at least move them out of the way if you wanted to turn her head a little bit and repose these. And now on either side of the hips, we do have the hooks for the lightsabers. I'm going to put these in here because I just want to fiddle around a little bit and see what this figure's all about. Ah, that looks so good! I love it! Now here's what I don't like about the stand. It just doesn't make any sense. It's very limiting with just a pole. Facing one direction, she is far past the diorama base. You flip the stand around and it puts her directly on the branch that's on the floor, so now that's in the way. Now here's the thing, if you want to put her right in the middle, her feet are jammed right up against the back of the diorama, and I'm actually holding the clamp so nothing's holding her to the pole. And I'll put her in the clamp here just so you can see where her feet would line up if you had to use the clamp. They line up directly with the branch, so that's how limiting this thing is. I feel like maybe the only option is going to be to maybe put one of her feet up there and another on the ground. I'm sure a lot of you may just pop this right back in the box and not even use it. Others will, I'm sure, be very creative and make it part of a maybe larger diorama. Overall, they did a fantastic job on this figure, though. I love the seamless body that they used, the fabrics that they used. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about this head sculpt, and there are some shots with certain lighting or certain angles that I do see Rosario Dawson in. And there are others where, you know, I don't see any resemblance at all. Now, I absolutely love the body that they gave us, the seamless body, but I am not going to put this through any kind of stress test over here. So I'm going to put it in a basic pose because I don't want it to tear over time. Now, you will get some good articulation, but it seems like the silicone material from the body only comes down to just before the elbow, because I can feel a joint in there. And the forearms are like a hard plastic, it feels like. And the elbow feels like a really solid ratchet joint, so that's going to hold up well for posing. Now, as always, we've got fantastic detailing all up and down the figure. We have a sculpted belt area with these nice hanging beads. The tailoring and just the texture of the materials that they use are just absolutely great. And I'm always happy when they give us a nice split boot design. Alright, let's pop on her hoodie poncho. It's a very, very nice material again. I do wish it had wires, or at least gave us a second one so we can have one with wires and one that just drapes really well like this. Alright, so here she is with the hoodie up. Now this is going to be one of those figures that's just really tough for me to figure out how I want to display her, because I don't want to really cover up all that stuff underneath. We've got beautiful seamless arms, terrific detail in the fabrics, and we got the lightsabers under there that will cover up like this. So how do I really want to display this? I don't know. I mean, I really like the hood look, but I also really want to see everything under it. So maybe I'll try both in the display and just see what looks better. Now, even with the wires, you're going to have to sit there and fiddle with that hood for a little while to try to get it to sit right. You can see it's just not sitting right now, so I don't know, maybe the hood's not the right way to go. But here is a very simple and kind of cool pose, just like that poster they put out. It truly is a shame that the lightsabers don't have some sort of light up feature. But I am trying to get some custom made, so hopefully I can get my hands on that soon. Alright, well, after some putzing around, I think this is it. I think this is how I'm going to display Ahsoka in the collection here. Besides the problems I have with the stand, I don't really like that, and the fact that there is no light-up features anywhere in this, no light-up lightsabers, the lantern doesn't light, and the head sculpt, is it accurate, is it not? I don't think it's 100% on, but I do see her in there a little bit. Besides that, this figure really is awesome, and I'm so happy to have it in the collection after over 2 years now. Hot Toys, you need to do better on DX figures and the time that you take to put a figure out. It's a little ridiculous. Was this worth the wait for 2 years and over $300? Well, I'm glad I have the figure. Was it worth over $300? Well, I'll be honest with you. Looking back now, I do wish I got the regular standard edition at $285 because personally, I already had a 1/6 scale Grogu with the Mandalorian, so I really didn't need him. And I'm not really fond of the stand, and I find this lantern to be pretty pointless, so looking back, yeah, it was pretty pointless. I really do wish I saved that $30 and put it towards another figure or something. But if you don't have a Grogu, and maybe you don't have the Mandalorian, maybe you want this set, so it'll be worth that extra $30, maybe for you, because you want a little Grogu in your display. So anyway, my friends, I'm not really trying to badmouth this figure. I think this figure is really nice, and I'm so happy I have it. Let me know what you all think about this down in the comments, and while you're down there, hit that like button, subscribe, and notification buttons for all upcoming videos. And as always, I will see you all on the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world. See ya!